All right, today is March the 13th, 2016. We're watching the eastern U.S. water vapor loop right now. And in Los Angeles, in the foothills, currently have 54 degrees for the temperature. We have 87% for the relative humidity. The dew point is 50 degrees. And the barometer is reading 1,017 millibar, which is about 30.04 inches. And it's about 8:20 in the evening. All right. We had a upper level low that was parked over Texas for about 3 days right near the border. That has moved on in the last day and a half. But Monroe, Louisiana, right down here, reported 24 inches of rain. And that's 2 feet of rain. That's more than we've had here in about 5 or 6 years. We had, I think, 7 3/4 inches last year. We've had about not even 14 inches this year. So in 2 years' time, we've had less rain than Monroe, Louisiana had in one day or 2 days when that low pressure was parked right here, was corralled with high pressure for about 3 days. They got 2 feet of rain as a result of that. Okay, we can also see another low pressure moving through the area due east. We'll have to watch what happens with that. That may turn and move up towards the northeast. Also, there's a much larger developing storm right out over here. That's out over the ocean. We don't care about that. Okay, let's go take a look next at the northeast Pacific water vapor loop. We can see the jet stream flow moving right into California. Today we had no measurable rain at all. The ground did get wet. We had a heavy dew, basically. It just spritzed for about an hour, and then it stopped. And the reason for that is because this morning we had chemtrails and spraying in the skies. I saw multiple trails when I got up this morning, went outside, and they were spraying aerosol chemtrails. And so that will prevent the lift, the atmospheric lift in the sky. We have to have lift and moisture to have rain, and so these chemtrails stop the lift, and that's why we didn't have any rain in our area today. Even though we have a nice opportunity for it, we have a huge moisture field moving right into California. You can see that right there in the infrared map. So no rain in the foothills. Right, we're right at the upslope of the mountains. We get typically 2 to 3 times more rain than downtown L.A. Of course, nowadays in the last 4 or 5 years, all that has changed. These weather people that report the weather, they seem to know exactly what cells are going to move in at what time and which neighborhoods will get hit the hardest and all the rest of it. It's very interesting how the weather is being steered and prevented and all the rest of it. Okay, let's look at the jet stream. Here's the map. We can see a pretty nice flow right into California. Just a clean, straight shot right into California. So we should be getting plenty of rain, and we should have gotten plenty of rain today, but the jets were out spraying. All right, here is the surface analysis map. We can see that there's a broad area of high pressure parked out over the East Pacific. And right here where LA is, right here at 34 North, we had high pressure. We've got about 1,020 millibar right here. It's ridge. We've got ridges of high pressure. And that prevented the rain. And the chemtrails stopped the rain. All right. And we have a 977 millibar gale force moving into Canada. And we've got a 982 millibar gale right here, moving on into Washington State. All right, here's the western U.S. water vapor loop, and we can see that a gale force system moving into Vancouver and Washington State, and the jet stream, clean shot right into California. We should have had a lot of rain out of that, but there's just a lot of spraying going on. Now, the spraying is not as effective up in the central and northern part of the state. I've come to find people that live up there that report back they cite the spring. They can see the plains, but they still get a lot of rain. That's because they're getting a lot more intense moisture flow up there than we are down here. So those chemtrails are effective up until a point. They can try spraying over this thing moving in, this giant low pressure, but that isn't going to do a whole lot. It will have some effect. Okay, let's take a look at this in the SSEC water vapor loop. This is the black and white. We can see a lot of chemtrails being laid out right in here in this area. We can see them, they're sort of spraying in this sort of a diagonal pattern right here as this moves on shore. All right. We saw this is the rainbow loop for the eastern U.S. And that low pressure moving through is they've got a transmitter on that, so there's not a whole lot of development going on there. That's just sort of isolated. And they've got this electronic wall I was showing. That's a very effective tool. They've got a phased array radar right here. And that is basically high pressure on demand. They point a transmitter and they just sweep that back and forth. And this is basically a hot air path that's been cut. It's very, very defined, well defined. So the jet stream is not moving in and getting wound into this low pressure. They are preventing the jet stream flow from merging with this low pressure. That's the whole point of that exercise. We can see this here in the water vapor map. That same electronic wall right here. Otherwise, this would feed into that, and this would rebuild and become very powerful once again. All right, let's look at the pressure maps. This is the sea level pressure. We can see the high pressure ridges right off of central and southern California. We only have half a map tonight. This is the low up in that Gulf of Alaska. And we've got a low sitting over here. This is that one we were just looking at. Okay, here's the 500 millibar. We can see low indicated down here, low up here, straight shot into California with the jet stream. And here's the 300 millibar, same thing. We've got that low down here, indicated, and a straight shot into California. We've got a low over here. That's it. That's pretty much the summary for today. We'll go ahead and do another update tomorrow.